Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Furman Football Weekly with head coach Hendricks. We are here to talk about last Saturday's game with Charleston Southern and look ahead to this coming Saturday's home game with Stetson, a 2 o'clock kick. We will give you broadcast information about that coming up at the end of the press conference. Joining Coach Hendricks today are players Luke Clark and Baylor Hughes. And as always, Coach, we will ask you to open the proceedings with a statement.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dan. Appreciate you again being here. Certainly very disappointed in the result of the game Saturday night. Give them a lot of credit doing the things they had to do to get a win, and we didn't do the things we need to do. And, we're obviously a work in progress, which continues. A program that I think this program's largely been built on. I told our staff today in there, we got to be a program that does common tasks uncommonly well. We've all heard that quote, and right now we're not doing those common tasks uncommonly well. We got a really fine margin. It's kind of razor thin right now of doing those things really well. And, I think a lot of that is, a little bit of youth and experience. It's also our job, it's my job to get us to that point, and I think, obviously the glaring things are the turnovers. I don't know, been coaching a long time, would have ever won a game, 4-0 turnover, margin, and we had every opportunity to still win a game, so I kind of see that as a positive. We've also not created any, something we've been really, really good at. And so those are things we're working hard daily to get better at, everything we want is still out there in front of us. I think sometimes I told the staff this morning, I felt like we're 5 games in the way the thing started, but we're not. I just kind of see we lost a game the other night. We felt like we should have won, and got another one to play this week. I've been pointing to the conference schedule all along, and we still got a couple of weeks to get ourselves ready for that, which is the most important part to all of us. And but no, with that, any questions you may have?
I'm sure that Northern Illinois went into the game with Notre Dame feeling like they could win, and they did. But do you think when you play a game like Ole Miss, do you think it's almost like you didn't have an opener and you sort of lose the optimism that goes into the start of the season?
Well, I do feel like this. I felt like I told our staff yesterday, I felt like it almost feels like it was one of those scrimmages back in August, and it really felt like Saturday was the opener. I'm not sure I've ever felt like that, and I felt like we've made a lot of opener mistakes, which, that also could be an excuse. I don't really say that's just kind of how I felt. So I just think we're still early in this process. Nobody's panicking. Knew we had some challenges. Again, I just think the margin's razor thin. And, I think it's as simple as they threw 2 go balls. We're in great position on both of them. Their guy makes a play on both of them. And they get 2 touchdowns out of it. One thing you've heard me talk about us being better at throwing the ball down the field, and we have been all August. We threw 2 down. We had 2 chances the other night. One was a gimme touchdown. We overthrow him. The other one, we got the guy beat. They weren't covered well, and we throw it out of bounds. And, we had a couple of those at Ole Miss. One was a contested ball that we had a great chance to maybe go get. We didn't. Another one, we missed a throw. And that's the difference in the game alone. Turnovers putting our defense in really bad spots, and I think people will say that, we didn't give up a lot of yards the other night, but we still didn't play the level. Our third down defense wasn't real good. Red zone wasn't up to what we expect. We didn't get turnovers, and still hurting ourselves with some penalties, especially offensively. So again, it's just stuff we got to continue to work at. But no, I kind of feel like that. Hopefully, I'm hoping, I kind of saw this as maybe week 2, maybe we see the big jump from week 1 to week 2. Hopefully they'll show up this week.
So, Luke, overall, how do you feel like the defense played, and what do you expect this year?
I definitely think we played all right. There's definitely a lot of things we need to get better at. Just tackling, like Coach said, creating turnovers is something we pride ourselves on and we haven't really done yet. I definitely say we kind of played like a young team. I think you can see some guys that are a little bit hesitant. And I think, going into next week, what we can expect is just to see some of those guys really, take that step forward and become confident players. Like Coach said, it's kind of hard going from Ole Miss to that type of level of competition, then back to FCS. And I think, they've seen kind of both sides of the, talent spectrum. And I think, just for our team, we just need to get back to playing, team defense, just tackle better and create turnovers. But, I think the sky's the limit for our team still.
Clay, we all saw, I guess, the good and the bad of playing a young quarterback with what we saw from Trey. Just what was your assessment of overall the way he played, and where do you want to see his improvement from week 2 to week 3?
Well, first thing I'd say is, nobody that carries the ball for you touches the ball in offense. Ball security is job security. So we got to take it. That's always number one in everything we do. Because like I said, just really a difference in the game. I think it's pretty obvious. If you watch that game, it's pretty obvious when he came in there. About spark, he's got talent. He doesn't seem to phase him a whole lot. Now there can be some bad in that sometimes too. I think a little bit of that's taking care of the ball. We felt like we needed a boost in the throw game. We felt like we'd missed some opportunities through the first quarter. And I know he came second when it was, but you saw some immediate stuff there. Still have a lot of confidence in Carson, but we just felt like that's a little bit of where we were. It feels like 2 games we've kind of been playing on an uphill field. I don't know why I feel that way, but it just feels that way, and you just feel like you got to be perfect with all your calls. But now certainly made some plays, still missed a bunch of opportunities, and some of those were mental. Both those guys, just not going to the right place with the ball, and we say it should be a really pretty common decision to make sometimes, but until you get put in that situation, you don't probably do that very well. But did some really good stuff. I think, again, made of the right stuff. Coach does a great job coaching those guys up. I think they'll continue to get better. I know I've been a part of playing some freshman guys. We've even done it here a little bit. It's not where you want to be, ideally, but it's just a little bit of where we are in the nature of the world right now. And, Luke made the comment, some of those defensive guys. We got some guys that just need to play. They need to play with more confidence because they're very capable. And I see it at practice, but you got to be able to go into the game and play with the same confidence. Because, again, there's some talent there. And, it's, playing off receivers too much, and it's not like we're sitting there backing them up, let them make some easy throws, and then, playing the ball in the air, and the key is put yourself in a position that you can go play the ball in the air. And I think we've done that, but we're just not making, we're kind of over, on the deep balls, even offensively. So, we'll keep working at it. We've shown we can do it, but you got to be able to do it in the game.
Coach, coming up this next game with Stetson, they're averaging 0 points in the first quarter, but they're also averaging 28 points in the third and fourth quarter, which means they're making a lot of adjustments and really ending strong compared to starting strong. Does that change your philosophy in this game that you need to jump out? And then, Luke, what is your thoughts knowing that this team is very well coached in the second half?
I don't. I just think where we are, and it's not much different any week. We just need to worry about us, and fixing things that we need to fix. And, I watch us, 90% of our issues right now, I think, are all fixable. Everything's not always fixable. We're dealing with some injuries. Lost Josh Burrell now. Josh will be out, I don't know, at the best, probably 6 to 8 weeks. He ended up having surgery yesterday. He got hurt play 4. He was a big part of our plan, and we lost him. And we got other guys, and we'll make that adjustment. So, I think it's balancing all that. But, Stetson, they're a 10 personnel team spread you out, or, something we hadn't seen this year. We've seen a little bit of it, but I mean that's who they are, play after play, and that is a good sign. They're making adjustments, and I think it's also a little bit of a sign of being early in the year. You talk about early games. I just feel, I'm sure Notre Dame, everybody thought they were the best team in the country. Now everybody thinks they're the worst team in the country. I walked in the other night, and after the game, I get home and I look. It's the third quarter, and Clemson's got 60-something points against a great Appalachian program. It's just the world we're in a little bit right now. And so, you scoreboard, and there's some, like I said, people in our league, you play pretty good the first week, you don't play very good next, so every week's different. You just got to go prepare and see if you can, again, focus on getting better improvement. We'll continually make personnel adjustments. Special teams play a big part of that. Again, a lot of good stuff I see, just way too many mistakes. Luke, maybe Luke.
Baylor, it occurred to me that everything that y'all are saying is probably almost the same thing that Charleston Southern people were saying last week after they after they had lost to the Citadel, and probably the dedication to correct the little things, fix the flaws. That's probably, if they had an advantage Saturday, that's probably one of them, because they were chastened by that loss. And it seems like to me this game will be very much like Saturday was for the team that won. I just wondered if you thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the same thing coaches have been saying, and just like you hit it on the head, it's little things, mistakes. And like Coach said, he came and talked to us yesterday in the meeting. It's little stuff, but it's all correctable. Most of it's correctable. Sometimes you can't correct mistakes. Sometimes there's things that you can't control, but a lot of the stuff's just all 11 guys on the field doing their job every single play, and it comes down to 10 guys are doing their job and one guy doesn't. That affects the whole team. So we just got to get everybody on the same page, and everything will get fixed.
And I'd say this, Bonnie, I feel like really I have a lot more idea about where we are as a team after Saturday than I did the week before. So I'm like, okay. Just like, what did you – we watched the tape from 2 weeks ago, and, we tried to learn from it, but it was just really kind of hard to come back. Where are you? I kind of feel like I know kind of where we are and what we really have got to do to get better, going forward. So that's really kind of where our focus is.
Well, Baylor and Luke both redshirt seniors. Does it seem like you've been here that long, and is there any sense of urgency? This is your final year here, and Baylor, you can start.
It doesn't seem like I've been here that long. It kind of flies by. I talk to the young guys, especially like Gavin Hall's a freshman in our room, running back, and he's been doing good during camp. And I remember telling him just take it serious and enjoy every day because it flies by. And yes, there's definitely a sense of urgency because I think Luke can speak. I know on the offensive side ball and the defense, just practicing against each other every day, we know how good this team can be when we're clicking and doing what we're supposed to do. So there's a sense of urgency to get there, but we also got to trust the process and just take it, embrace it every day by day.
Yeah, it's definitely flown by quick. I think I played my 45th game last weekend, so it's been a while. I'm really happy I came back from my 5th year. I really enjoy it here. This place is home, and thankful the opportunity Coach gave me to be here. But I think just enjoying it this season, just trying to be a leader and get us going in the right direction.
Baylor, you spent 3.5 years as a receiver, 3+ years, and then toward the end of last year, you make the switch to running back. You ran a lot in high school. I imagine if you like this switch, do you like running the ball versus running routes more now?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's a good change. I remember I got called up in here last year before the Montana week because we had so many injuries in our running back room, which was terrible. And Coach kind of called me in his office and he said, "We've watched a lot of tape of you guys, and you're one of the guys we think we want to move to running back. Would you want to do that?" And whatever helps the team. So, I mean, went through camp and spring ball at running back, and I've enjoyed it. Coach Calder's done a great job, and Coach Hendricks done a great job. The whole staff's done a great job, and those guys, Mayan and Grant, have helped me a lot. And I've enjoyed it.
Clay, I've talked to a lot of basketball coaches over the years, and they talk about rebounding being more mindset and effort than it is skill. And I'm wondering if maybe some of that applies. You're talking about the jump balls that you've been in position to get that you haven't gotten so far. Does that come into play, mindset and determination, as much as being in the right place at the right time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think actually their kid made both plays. I think the same kid made both the catches the other night for them. I think certain guys have knacks for that. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's something you can teach. I don't know. You know, you can work on it, but I do think that's a pretty natural thing. And again, I think we got some guys I know aren't going to be quite as good, but even if you're a defensive perspective, even if you don't catch it, don't let them catch it. And then certainly we'd like to get our hands on some. And then, I think the biggest one is just missing the open ones, and man, it's just that's been a continual thing. We had a good number of explosive plays the other night, something we struggled all year with last year against I thought, a pretty athletic defensive group. We had a bunch of explosion plays, but man, it's just those that, you get chances to get chunks, and, that's too, it's the difference in the game. If we can hit those, and we'll continue to work at it. And our guys are capable because I've seen us do it. But we just got to continue to work.
Are your offensive linemen still cross-trained to play every position?
We still a lot of them. I can't say they're all that way. Again, they're in the area we've been a little thin at, so we probably some key guys. We got some older guys. We do a little bit more of that. Yeah.
And I noticed that the rotation on defense was similar to last year. Are you playing as many people?
Yeah, defensive, we're still playing a lot of guys. We don't play as many on offense. Didn't play as many on offense last year. But now defensive, we're still playing a bunch of guys there. Now a lot of them, the second group of guys now are a lot of young guys, more so than it was a year ago. Where last year a lot of our backup kids were old kids. But no, we still got a pretty good rotation working.
What was the silver lining from Saturday? When you look back at it, what was something that video study showed you that you did a pretty darn good job?
Well, I think the same thing. Our kids kind of hang in there, and they can continue to hang in there and fight. And, just again, as poorly as we did some stuff and ball security and some penalties that hurt us. And, you hear me use that Furman beating Furman. I thought we beat Furman in a lot of ways the other night. Now, again, I don't want to take anything away from our opponent, but, we still sat there and had a chance to win the football game. Had lots of chances to do that. And I don't know, I just really pleased with how our kids respond. I was really pleased with their preparation. A little bit younger group. I even made the comment Saturday, it's late game, just everything from pregame. I just thought our kids were locked in. I didn't think that was a factor. I just think it's a little bit of, can you go out there and execute when the bullets start flying? Can you handle that situation? And they came back. How they were after the game, how we came yesterday. We had our normal meeting day. We went out. Obviously, practice is not real heavy on Sunday. How we did that, we conditioned at the end. Doing all the things we need to do to continue to get better. But again, there's no way to grow up fast, and I think a lot of those mistakes are a little more. You don't see that more often with a younger group. And now, when you have problems when there's older guys doing it, and I don't think I've seen it quite as much out of the older guys. So I think the want to's there. I think that's probably the want to, and we got some talent. So I think that's encouraging to me.
It's for Luke and Baylor as well, and you are older guys, redshirt seniors, as we talked about a moment ago. How important is it for both of you as redshirt seniors to be leaders on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think just coming with age comes with experience and knowledge, and I just, I want to pour what I've learned here, not just as a football player, but as a man to these guys, want to see them change. We got some guys that are still developing, and, they're young, so that's normal, but I think just being able to get them on the right path to be successful players has been what, my kind of ideal has been, and, usually when you can, do stuff off the field right, it really helps on the field, so just, it's important to get those guys to come along and, be like the guys who've come before me too.
Yeah, pretty much piggybacking off of what Luke said. It's just, I think being a redshirt senior, just like Luke, just kind of passing your experience down. You've kind of been in their shoes before, and you've been here. We've both been here. This is our 5th year here, so kind of just showing those young guys the right decisions to make and how to make things easy on yourself and where to put your time and effort and how to just make everything fall into place.
This is also for both players, because I've talked to Coach about this, and we talked about it a bit in the press conference and the pregame radio last week. But from a player's standpoint, what does it mean to come out every Saturday now and have that memorial to Bryce on the Fieldhouse end zone? And what does it mean to have Fred and Terry staying as engaged as they have been with the team, with the players, with you guys as individuals?
I mean, words can't really describe, that feeling of honoring him and, how strong his parents are. It's unbelievable. I can't imagine just how strong those two people are. And the amount of respect and love we have for them is just tremendous. And having that, there for Bryce is special. And, it's awesome. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, there's not really words to describe that family and situation. I mean, Coach talks to us every day. Every time we have a team meeting, he hits it on the head talking about being a Furman man, and there wasn't a better example on this football team and in this program than Bryce Stanfield. So that's something that I know I carry with me every day. And when things get hard, we're running or during the game, it just comes up in my head and gives you everything I need.
You made reference to a term I've been using for 40 years about that game where it seems like the field's tilted against you all the time, and you have a feeling that nothing is going to – you don't have to earn whatever you get. I can tell you that the moment in that game when my heart skipped a beat was when that field goal bounced off the upright, because it's just like there's going to be a time when things go all your way, but there'll be a time when everything goes wrong. The penalty's wrong, the passes drop. The errors were largely unforced. So I think that's one of the greatest challenges any football team has, because that's going to happen sometime.
Well, control what you can control. And again, for us, that's just our preparation, how we go about. But you certainly have to be able to go out there and execute. And that's what's so unique. And it's a learned art. Our sport's a unique deal. I can't say you can't go out in the backyard and work on it, but so many of those things aren't. You gotta be able to do it in a practice setting, and then be able to carry it over. And and again, I think that's just a little bit of where we are. And and I think I keep reminding these guys. You flash back 2 years ago in Charleston, we fought our tails off to win that game. And I think we had a lot more of those games than people think we have. We've been in a bunch of those games, and and I think even playing poorly the other night in a lot of ways, our kids fought, and we still had a great chance to kind of get it done. And that whole year's going to be like that. This whole year's going to be like that. And a lot more games like that probably in a year ago, the last 2 years, than you remember if you go back and you truly look at how the game played out. And so, again, we just need to control what we can control.
Coach, what's it like for you after a game? Do you have a routine? And maybe it depends on whether you win or lose, or whether you're at home, and then do you flip the script? And the next day, Sunday, are you guys right back at it, or do you prepare a little bit in advance? How does that work for you?
No, well, we meet with our team back in the field house right after the game, and that part doesn't change. Certainly a lot more fun when you got more points than the other team. And then I literally go, Hunter, we do our, most of you guys are involved. We do a little press conference down the opposite line room right afterwards. And then, the home night game, which we don't play a lot of them. No, I'm usually around here for a little bit, but rarely have I gone in there and watched the tape. Usually the tape is up by a certain time. Rarely to ever do that, and I go home. And Saturday evening, if you can have an afternoon game, you got a little time off at home. And then we work on Sundays. I'd like to go to church Sunday morning, and we have I can't say I'm always there based on what we do, but I don't know. I think our window. We moved to Sunday practice 2 years ago, and it's been good. Just because of Monday here, just because of class conflicts, lab conflicts, so our players are off today. Good day for us to work to get ahead, but Sundays have been so crammed in the past. But, we lift, we meet, we watch the tape, we put that one to bed, and then do a little bit of practice stuff. And then I try to be done with them at about 6 o'clock dinner, so at least they have their evening. The other thing is when you go on Sunday, they don't truly have a day off. They're off today, but they're in class. And class here is a little different in most places. So we're a sport of routine, and that's pretty much how we're set up throughout the week.
Clay, as we wrap it up, I'll turn it back to you for a final comment, but in that, just some thoughts on your opponent this week, Stetson.
Yeah, she's excited to be back at home again. Don't know a lot about them other than what I've watched. I know they've been in that Pioneer League and have watched them follow them. Brian Young, the coach there, is an old Georgia Southern guy, so I've met him a couple of times. Clay Maz, our old ops guy, was coaching there. When I hired him here. New OC who actually came from out of Cal Poly, actually place I went and visited this summer when I was out there. I popped in, don't know him, and a little bit of that you can watch him, and a little bit of that you can see that a little bit of the West Coast influence in what they're doing offensively and spreading it out, throwing it around. A lot of kids from similar areas that we recruit. Just when I scanned down through their roster. First time. Well, I say first time. Maybe we played them way back. I don't know. Hunter could probably tell you about that. But again, I don't know. We're just excited to go play. I think you don't get but so many opportunities, and when you feel like you're kind of wasted one, I think that creates even a little more of an urgency. And again, I think everything we've done, and even going forward, is getting ready for a couple of weeks from this Saturday. When we kick off conference play, and which is for us is our ultimate goal. That's going to give us a chance to continue on do things we want to do, and what we do this week is going to help us, give us a better chance to be ready for that. Just excited to get a chance to go play again. These kids, does my heart good just to listen to these guys, and they are learning. Sometimes you think they're not listening. They're listening more than you think sometimes, but. No, I enjoy this group. I've enjoyed the way they've practiced, the way they've prepared. And I want them to see them go play up their capabilities, and that's what we're shooting for this week.
Sometimes they master the art of coach speak.
I agree. They've heard it enough.
Well, thank you to Coach Clay Hendricks, to Luke Clark, and Baylor Hughes for joining us today on this week's Furman Football Weekly. 2 o'clock kickoff here at Paladins Stadium on Saturday. TV broadcast on ESPN Plus. The radio broadcast will begin at 12:30 with the Pepsi countdown to kickoff. So we'd love to have you at the stadium. Tickets available, FurmanPaladins.com there. And if you can't make it, you've got your options to listen and watch. Thank you all for joining us for this week's edition of Furman Football Weekly. I'm Dan Scott. God bless you, and so long, everybody.